Hi everyone, it's Hans here, the founder of Cappuccino, and welcome back to this latest episode of Flat Whites and Insights, a podcast created to allow a space for open, honest and vulnerable conversations with real people held over a beautiful cup of coffee. I'm back for Series 4 and I can't wait to get going again with so much more to dive into and share with you guys. So to grab a coffee for yourselves, take a moment, and I hope you enjoy this latest conversation. Thank you, take care, and enjoy. Andrew, hi.
Hi.
Thanks for taking the time to travel out, come out of London and join me out here in, you say the country.
Yes.
Not quite the countryside in my opinion, but you know.
Yeah, I think if you're outside the M25,
yeah,
definitely country.
Nice, but you know, it's great to have you on. I think we were saying before we hit record, we've kind of followed each other's journeys loosely on social media for a few years.
Couple of years, yeah.
Yeah, where I've started Cappuccino and then the Cupping Directive is something we will talk about.
Yes.
It's really grown and I'm sure is all-consuming at the moment for yourself.
It is very much, yeah.
But before we kick off, are you all right to, for myself, but also for people watching who might not know who you are, give a brief introduction to yourself?
Yeah, bit of a wild journey, I think. Probably similar for most people in coffee. Started as a barista 2018. Started 2018. That was a part-time job at Costa, which my fiancée, now wife, was actually working at.
Yeah.
So she got me in. Thank you. If you're watching, I told you to watch.
So you have her to thank or blame for
However
this ends up.
Definitely a bit of both. So that I was doing that while I was doing my masters, which was biomechanics, sports biomechanics, and then from that ended up really hating it there. Didn't get on with the management there. I don't want to call them out too bad.
No, yeah, that's
but it was very much like, if you don't do what I tell you to do, we're not going to get on.
Okay.
I didn't like that. So left there after about 6 months, joined Specialty straight away. So I joined a company called Gourmet Coffee Bar. Nice. At that time they had, I want to say, like 15 sites, all on railway stations, mostly kind of Midlands and up.
Yeah.
But now they're probably close to 30. So
I think there's one at Didcot Station actually, local to
there?
us. Yeah, there is one.
I'll go and say hello.
Yeah, and on the train home you can go see.
They're absolutely fantastic. And I'm forever grateful to them, because I remember that the job ad said minimum 2 years of barista experience, and I'm there like 6 months.
Yeah.
I'll apply. Let's see what happens. Got the phone call. It was a guy called, I think it was Josh, who was the manager there. He told me, he was like, I was actually talking to the area manager the day before saying, why can't someone from a chain just apply who already knows how to make coffee? And then I just turned up. So I think I got lucky on that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, really enjoyed it there. Ended up getting up to the management position, managed that through COVID.
Yeah.
And then my wife got a job opportunity down in London. And I said, look, I can work in coffee anywhere.
Yeah.
Surely there's a cafe in London that needs a manager, needs a barista. So there was a point where in 4 weeks' time, I had no job. We didn't have anywhere to live. She had a job that was starting, I think, in 2 months. So she was kind of had a break there. We're like, right, well, we've got to get a move on. Find somewhere in London, which we did. Took a bit of a risk because we never visited the place. We're like, you've got a house, you'll take cats. Yes, fantastic. We'll have it. Still there, which is great. She's doing really well. She's actually gone from probably office assistant, maybe her first role. Now she's COO.
Nice.
In 5 years, 6 years. So doing better than me. Which is great. I then joined up with Saint Espresso, so they had 5 cafes and a roastery.
That's who I remember. I think when I kind of started following you or being aware of you, I think Saint Espresso, I think it was at that stage that I kind of became familiar with yourself because I guess I was starting to learn about the coffee industry through my band as well.
I think it was kind of the same for me, because I'll admit that back then I thought I knew coffee. going from like one of maybe 3 shops in Loughborough that did specialty. So then coming into London, I was like, oh yeah, I don't know coffee. Like, can I dial in? Yes. I did my SEA Barista Intermediate with Gourmet. That was all paid for by them, so thank you. But yeah, kind of looking at it and thinking, oh no, like I know nothing about roasting. I know nothing about the cafe scene here, or just even how to interact with people in coffee.
Yes.
Because there was maybe like 6 of us in Loughborough that were coffee focused, which was crazy. So I joined up with there, which was funny. Was actually interviewed for a different shop, and then ended up into the roastery shop, which I think was really where everything started. Because I then had that connection to roasting. I was like,
yeah, it kind of opens your eyes a little bit more, or you're
happens,
you're just close to and in proximity to that and the people who are doing that. So naturally, you're gonna learn from them, pick things up.
That's it. Yeah,
and then probably appreciate more what ends up in the cup, or what ends up being served to the customer.
Absolutely, yeah. Which is what I try and teach now to people. Is like, if you can understand what happens in green buying, what happens in roasting, what happens behind the bar, or even just running a business, it doesn't matter which section you're in. If you have an understanding, it's just so
how much work goes into making this happen. And I think that's something for myself as well. Sorry, just to get back to your journey a bit, but so yeah, I've always liked coffee. I've drunk coffee from probably quite a young age to drink coffee. I don't know, about 13, 14. But it was never really a passion I looked at until I had my own kind of experience with mental health, and then that's when Cappuccino started, when basically I was off work.
Yeah, that was 2019 as well?
2019 was when Cappuccino started, yeah. There we go, so 6 years ago now, which,
incredible.
I mean, we've already been saying a bit before we hit record about, we're just going to end today feeling really old, aren't we? We're just looking back at how long it is since we've done certain things. But at that point, I felt like I wanted a purpose because I wasn't working, and I've always been quite achievement focused. I'm trying to learn to move away from that a little bit, but it was only going to make me feel more unwell, I think, if I was just sat at home thinking, I'm not being active, I'm not doing anything.
Yeah.
So just started reviewing cafes, going into Oxford.
Fantastic.
I lived here in Didcot at the time, so it's only about 15, 20 minutes away. Would take a book, go into cafes, and got to know some really good people there. But yeah, I during that I started to understand so much more about coffee and how much goes into it, and people's stories. And something I've mentioned on previous episodes with people in the coffee industry is it almost feels like quite a lot of people end up in it. It's almost like they don't necessarily set out and they're studying and they go, I want to get into the coffee industry. It's people, I don't know, they fall into it because they maybe love the drink, and then they just like the passion that goes into it, and that there's so much more to learn. And I don't know if for yourself it's similar, because obviously you took that journey from sports science
into coffee.
Myself being, football's also a big passion. I sponsor local football teams. People will know if they watch my podcast. So, and I love stats. I love data. So, I mean, we won't for this, but I could spend a whole episode just talking about that side of things.
Fantastic.
But I'm interested where you mentioned that it wasn't quite right for yourself, and in terms of the environment, and in terms of the way you were managed. For you, was it a difficult decision to move away from that? Did you? Because did you really love the work you were doing, but the environment wasn't right, or do you feel like it maybe
it's an interesting
was going to happen anyway? You were maybe going to move away from that field.
Yeah, I mean, to move into that shop, I was beforehand I was part-time at Premier Inn.
Okay.
So making food, it was great, loved it, but it was very the same 4 walls every day. There was no windows. It was a kitchen. The door was closed because of pests. And because Costa and Premier were owned by the same company, and my wife was there, it was a really easy switch.
Okay.
So it was the idea of working somewhere with windows, great, talking to people, great, and it's going to sound really weird, but the old Costa uniform with like the rolled up sleeves, I thought that was so cool.
Yeah.
And I was like, I kind of want to wear that to work.
Yeah.
With like a little penny
apron.
It was the dream. But I mean, it was great to begin with, and I think if you're kind of stepping into coffee, if you want to be there, you already kind of step above 90% of the barista workforce, I think.
Yes.
Because it is still a part-time job, even though it's a craft, it's a profession. Realistically, it is a skilled job.
There are people to who it is just a job, a filler.
It
for
is.
some people.
Yeah. So if you go, hey, I want to be here, you're doing all right.
Yeah.
Which I didn't really get that from a lot of the others. And then there became kind of a few policy changes, which were very much, well, like if you don't hit sales, you're going to be in trouble. And I was like, well, what if it rains? What if there's a sickness? How how can I control this? And I think, I mean, I didn't really choose to leave.
Okay.
But I kind of put myself in that position where I would have done if not, because we had a big argument, and I was like, this isn't great for mental health, to anyone who works here, for coffee as a whole.
Yeah, and potentially, and again, we don't have to go too much into it, but potentially could take away value from the product that you're delivering as well. Yeah. Because if there's a queue of people, and yes, sometimes there's a queue and you want to get through that queue. Yeah. I've never worked in hospitality, I've never worked in coffee, which is something that is quite funny. I ended up on a panel in January, which was about mental health in hospitality.
Great.
And that was at Brewed Online. It was really cool in London.
Those guys.
Yeah, so it was really great. And I did feel a massive sense of the imposter syndrome, because I was like, there's a lot of people who have a lot of experience in this industry, and I'm on this panel, but I've never actually worked in it. Yeah. But sometimes it was quite useful to give that outside view, or kind of that talk, because I think hospitality is one of the industries where people can get caught in that bubble of, but we're hospitality, the way things work here is the way things work here. Yeah. It doesn't matter what works in other industries because it's different. Yeah. When actually, maybe you can learn some things from other industries, or maybe there's things that actually you're doing really well, but you don't appreciate how good it is because you're not seeing elsewhere.
Absolutely.
But no, if you're just trying to hit targets and sales, then someone might feel a bit rushed through. They might feel like you're not very pleasant or welcoming with the service. If someone's stressed, they're going to be less welcoming and friendly with the service. Yeah. So I can see it. It doesn't. It's not conducive to a happy place. The place that you're enjoying your time there as well.
But just think like if you're a customer and you just want a coffee, black coffee. That's all you want. And then you ask, do you have a loyalty card? Do you want one? Do you want cake? Do you want a sandwich? Are you sitting in? Are you taking away? What size do you want? I just want a black coffee.
Yeah, please. I want my coffee.
But I really valued that experience that I had there, because I vowed that when I then became a manager, and now I'm doing my own thing and I talk to so many people, I try to be as opposite of that person as possible. And I think you definitely learn more from we'll say like the worst experiences than the good ones, I think.
Yeah, I think that's true, because it's sometimes you don't, because you're really looking at what you I think unfortunately it is human nature. You're going to focus more intently, or you'll draw more towards the negative sometimes than the positive. But about taking from it, learning from it. Again, where I am now, it's interesting. We're in a startup. It's quite a new business, but
fantastic.
I've worked so I did work in the labs initially, but the PhD wasn't for me, and that just wasn't a good environment. Again, one of the things you mentioned about, I mean, we did have windows, so maybe I should cut myself grateful there. But the talking to people, I felt when I was in the lab, although we were a team, everyone was focused on the research, and I felt quite lonely in the lab, and I thrive off conversation, communication, cracking a little joke every now and again. I quite like, in my role, I'm in the office. I work from home 1 day a week, but I am in the office and surrounded by people, and that suits me. And so, but I've worked in like a charity, I've worked for a football association, and now I work for a startup. It's different environments, and they're quite new, so they're trying to understand the business side alongside the technology, and you can bring those experiences. And I think I'm bringing more, or talking about, again, it's always easier to say what not to do. It's hard to find, but what do we do? To get results. But it's if someone suggests something and I've seen or know how it made me feel, I'm very cautious of, yes, they're engineers, they're chemists, and we're trying to get a technology working, but you've got to remember they're people first.
Yeah, exactly.
And not all of them are as passionate as the founder, so you can't rely on, but we're making something incredibly cool, so everyone wants to be here and they love being here because it's going to be amazing. And it's hard, I think, with founders to sometimes remember that for some people this is just a job, and that's okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I completely second that. I did a string of training for about a year, and one of the first things I said to people was like, look, this is a career for me. I'm very passionate about it. I want to be here. For you, if it is, yes, fantastic. You're in the right place. I will help you get where you need to go. If this is a filler job, as a barista, fine. We're not going to push you too hard, but there's still standards to meet.
Yeah.
And it was all about kind of making value from every situation. So I said, look, as long as you turn up on time,
Yeah.
you do a good job, you smile, you know, you do the role of a barista. If you don't want to do that in 2 years, fine. But if you end up doing a good job for us and leaving, going on to an office job or whatever you want to do, what if that next job has a coffee machine? And you can turn up in your interview and go, I've actually been a barista for 3 years, on top of knowing everything I need to know for this job.
Yeah.
Guess what? You're hired.
Yeah.
Right?
Little things like that. It sounds like silly, but it will happen, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And it stands out. It's something different.
It really does. So it's just like taking value from every opportunity. And I think if you're, for me, like if you're doing a full-time job that doesn't allow you to live the life you want to do, change it.
Yeah.
But it's a lot easier said than done.
Yeah, of
right?
course.
Because if you might not be able to move.
Yeah.
You might not be able to take 2 months off where you find what that is.
Yeah.
You might have other commitments, you might have a family, sports teams, whatever it is.
Yeah,
it's tough.
It is difficult, and I think that is something for myself I realised recently. So between from my last job to this one, I did leave with nothing lined up.
Yeah.
And it was a difficult decision at the time. I don't need to go too much into details about it. Great people. It was just the right time for me to move on professionally, personally.
Yeah.
Needed a new challenge. Things didn't necessarily align. But yeah, I realised how privileged I am to be able to say, I'm going to leave this job
and be okay.
with nothing lined up.
Yeah.
And it actually worked out within 2 months. I
had
this other thing lined up, and it's turned out to be a really cool opportunity. And now, pleased I took that decision.
Yeah.
But not everyone is in that position, and I do think I am very wary of that. And I think that can be one of the biggest factors of people on their mental health, their stress, is feeling like you're stuck somewhere.
Yeah.
That is draining you and that you really don't want to be. But I would then counter that with, are you stuck somewhere?
Yeah, I absolutely agree.
Because work out, actually, are you? Who's forcing you to be there?
Yeah.
Is it yourself? Is it?
Yeah.
Which it can be a difficult thing, but I've worked with people before where I'm like, you're just not happy here. Why are you doing it to yourself? Why are you making yourself come in every day and go through this?
Yeah. And then to be fair, if that person then actually said, there's a lot going on.
Yeah, then
I can't think about anything else. Great, now you've got a connection. What can now you do to help this person?
Exactly.
Say, like, look, if you're 10 minutes late, don't worry about it. Because we now have that connection.
Exactly.
Because what I did when I was at Saint, after 9 months of managing the first shop in London, I realised that I don't really like telling people what to do. And I was like, this is my career. I'm a cafe manager. I hated calling people on the day off to see if they wanted to come in. I hated asking people to go and do cleaning tasks, even though I did my fair share. And after 9 months, I said, I don't know if I want to do this, which was hard because we just moved to London.
Yes.
I was like, house is very expensive, living is very expensive. I don't really know if I can afford to kind of drop down to a barista role somewhere else and have no responsibility.
Yeah.
So I talked to the team and said, look, I don't want to leave the company, but is there something else that I could do? And they went, well, chances are we're actually opening a new site, which is closer to you, so you can walk to work.
Yeah.
You'll be what was called like a site lead, which is essentially like assistant manager, day-to-day stuff. So that was more focused on coffee quality, customer services, ordering, rather than the kind of top line numbers.
Top line, yeah.
I was like, yeah, great. All right, cool. And then from there, it then progressed into the trainer and then into the roastery.
Yeah.
And it was like you said earlier, having that human connection, because yes, it could be the CEO, yes, it's the big boss, but they're also human.
Yeah. And upwards as well. And I think that's something I always say to sometimes the team are very quick to, it's management's fault. Oh, because someone's a manager, they're obviously doing it on purpose, and they obviously think that they're more important than me, and it's not always the case. I mean, I've had limited management experience in terms of line management experience, but in my roles over the last 5-6 years, I've either reported directly to the CEO or been in that circle. So I've seen how decisions are made. I've seen the way things can pile up, and I've seen that's, you know, how overwhelmed and how much stress it can be.
Yeah.
And I think it's for staff and for people, and this might not be popular for some people to hear, but remember your manager's a human too. And middle managers have it the worst. And this is such a cliche because they're being told, like, they have people below giving them demands or not happy with them. They have pressure from above, and, you know, who's there to help support them. And I love one of the things you mentioned there about maybe this management, that specific role wasn't maybe for you and you didn't enjoy it. And I think sometimes people, by giving someone a promotion to a management role, they think you're giving them what they want. But some people then are torn because I want to be loyal to the company. It's a bit of a pay rise. I'm showing progression, but I actually don't want to be a manager.
Yeah.
And I think maybe the younger generations, there's more of that now of people accepting that. I don't want to be a manager.
Yeah. Yeah. I think social media has a lot to play in that. So I remember seeing a thing a few years ago which basically said that managers, whatever year it was in cafes or any business, is usually the best employee when the manager leaves.
Yeah.
Whereas realistically, I was thinking about this the other day, like, if you want to get into coffee, you don't need to be good at coffee. You need to know someone or be passionate. Yeah. As you then go up to like barista to head barista, that's coffee skill. As you go from, say, head barista to manager, it no longer matters how good you are at making coffee. It's the soft skills.
Yeah.
It's the negotiation. It's the listening, which I'm terrible at. It's the forward planning. It's the kind of thinking on your feet. It's those soft skills that matter the most.
Yeah.
Which I think a lot of baristas get caught up in because they think, well, I can make coffee better than the manager can.
But it's like,
why are they getting paid more? Well, it's because it's different skill set.
It's so true,
completely different.
And that's where a business is a business.
Yeah.
Like, and that's where there's those fundamentals of communication, but then those skills, like, you say again, connection, communication. Then it comes down to having people who are on top of the finances, or
because those people don't need to know how to make coffee.
They don't need to make coffee. They need to make sure that, you know, you're going to be able to pay the rent and pay everyone's wages and forecasting.
I'd rather them be good at that
exactly.
than pour a nice tulip on a flat white.
Exactly. Yeah, great. They're busy making flat whites, and then suddenly, you know, none of you have paid back. So I think there is that appreciation of but that's again, as long as the people in that management are aware and accept and acknowledge that those people do know how to make coffee better than them. Because then it must be frustrating if someone who doesn't have those coffee skills is then giving someone suggestions on how to improve their coffee, which I'm sure you maybe have seen in the past.
It's a killer.
Yeah.
But that's where we kind of have that network again. It's seeing can like if you're a small business, can you as like the finance person, can you show a little bit of what you do to the barista? Yeah. And then in turn,
and then they appreciate what you do. Yeah.
Teach you how to make coffee a little bit. Because I never realised when I was as a barista, I was like, why does it take someone half a day to create a poster for something, for an event? Yeah. Oh yeah, because it takes that long. It's not because they're sat down in the office in a big comfy chair going, get it done. It takes that long. And coming from a world where a coffee takes a minute, a roast takes 10 minutes, it's all set for you. To then going, oh, you know what? It's actually, because they're all kind of doing tasks. It's the thinking tasks
that take
longer and are almost more exhausting. Because yes, my legs hurt at the end of the day if I'm lifting coffee or wherever I'm going. But if you're thinking about how to do something all day, you don't want to think about anything else. Yeah, it's hard.
Elements in that, and that's why sometimes for me, I do a bit of the finance stuff. It's actually quite nice to switch off. You've got to make sure you're detailed. Don't add the wrong number of zeros, whatever. But if you're just reconciling an account, or not to get too dubbed down, but a task that is just doing rather than thinking, and it's just, you know, repeating a process. And sometimes it's nice to just zone in and focus on that when you spent time trying to think about, you know, how we're going to improve the culture in the workplace, or how we're going to create a policy to make sure AI is being used correctly. Whole big topic that we don't need to dive into AI, but it's important, especially because we've got patents and we've got IP, and we don't want anything getting out there and things like that.
It's not like there's like an instruction list you follow to complete the task.
No, it's just
it doesn't exist.
It's new. That's the whole point of research, right? But no, it's interesting. But I want to zone in now a little bit on the Cupping Directive.
All right.
And where the idea for that came, what the journey's been like, and what that looks like for you now.
Yeah. So my whole thing, I mean, well, when I was going through uni, my very broad aim was to leave a legacy.
Yes.
And
Nice.
I was like, what if I had like a lecture theatre named after me or something? Because
Yeah.
I discovered the next new thing in sports biomechanics.
Yeah.
Never had a chance. But you know, you aim for it. But it was always to be helpful. So even through sports science, there was a time where I wanted to be a PE teacher. A helpful job to the students, be a physiotherapist, helpful to people you're helping. Performance analysis, helping to people get better at the thing that they want to do. So it's all help.
Yeah.
Never to take. And so after a year in London, realising how big everything is, how different everything is to coffee, how I had it before, I started to get really annoyed that there was a few events going on, so cupping in the evenings, last year at throwdowns, whatever it might be, that you just did not know was happening. Unless you happen to follow 50 to 100 cafes where they do one Instagram story and go, hey, this is happening. If you catch it, yes, you've got a ticket. If you're a few hours late, maybe they're sold out. Or someone the next day goes, oh, I didn't see you there last night. You're like, where?
Yeah.
I was at home. I was chilling. So that was kind of like a personal annoyance for me. So I was like, well, why doesn't someone create a platform that brings everything together?
Yeah.
Now, I didn't know that actually existed before COVID. I think it was just London Coffee Events was the name.
Okay.
But someone told me that person, whoever it was, then moved to Bath. I still don't know who they are.
Okay. I studied in Bath, great city.
Oh,
Little
nice, yeah.
aside,
So
but
did
yeah.
my sister. She was there.
Yeah, lovely place. Love
Childhood
Bath.
studies, I think she did. And I tried to get in contact with them because, you know, I don't want to step on anyone's toes. Never got anything back. So I was like, okay, well, let's just make something. The London Cupping Directive, that kind of sounds fun. Made an Instagram page, made a very badly drawn logo, but I kind of love it because it was horrible. And then I started to kind of show it to a few colleagues at Saint actually, and said, look, I trust you as a coffee professional, as a friend. You'll tell me if this is an awful idea.
Yeah.
And they went, no, do it. And I was like, oh, okay. Which was interesting because as being a helpful person, I've always had ideas for projects or things that were like, oh, this is annoying. Hey, someone should do this. But I'd never acted on my own idea.
Yeah.
Which was weird because I was like, oh, this is mine.
Yeah.
I thought of this time.
Yeah.
So created it. Got off to a slow start. Essentially, I was making very simple posters on Google Slides of all places because it was a really nice copy and paste job. Get the template, just whack a new photo in, change the date, change the title, send it off. And over maybe 6 months, so toward the end of 22, people were like, oh, have you seen this? I only found out about this event because of this. And I was like, that's me.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, oh, that's crazy.
Which must have been a really nice feeling.
It was very strange.
Then you kind of get that real feedback.
Yeah.
And the fact they didn't know it was you means they're not just saying it because they're a mate and they're just saying it. Yeah.
Yes. So it kind of snowballed. Got into a bit of trouble here and there because I was posting events for people who hadn't announced it themselves yet. But there's always teething problems, and you kind of like, look, I'm being helpful. Yeah. Let me know when it's out, or I'll see when it's out, and then I'll do it the day before. Okay. So you just have to have those negotiations. But that's just overcoming fear of failure, I think. Yeah. Which I still have a lot of. But I've learned to just kind of like, it'll be fine.
Yeah, and it is that kind of really going back to that. What is the worst that can happen? You know what I mean?
Yeah. They go, can you take that post down?
And you go, yeah, sure.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah,
fine.
My manager says all the time. She's like, you know, we don't work in like any like lives don't depend on this thing what you're doing. So just have a go. Try get it wrong. Especially in a startup environment, it's nice. You maybe get a bit more flexibility. Whole business direction can change pretty quick. So don't worry about getting things wrong, and don't worry about asking for help. And that's something I also struggled with massively when in roles previously or times where I don't want to be seen like I don't know what I'm doing. When actually I just create internal stress and pressure because the thought of a task is so much worse than just doing it. Whereas now, if I don't know, I don't know. Ask someone, and then not to say that you're passing the problem over. I'm still more than happy to do the task when it comes back, but Why sit and stress when actually that's kind of what management and stuff are there for?
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. So you kind of, this is kind of going into 23 now. Got a couple of hundred people on there. Started a website. So there's a company called Big Cartel. They do free websites. Okay. So you pay for your domain, £16, whatever, depending on how in demand it is. Yeah. So the Cupping Directives, dead cheap. No one wants it. Great. Free website, started posting on there. And then, so that was then running until probably the start of 24. So this was just working full time. Yeah. And then doing evenings and weekends. Yeah. Just kind of being helpful. I was like, I'm now searching events. I'm going to events. I'm meeting new people. Yeah. I'm going to places that I'd never thought I would go to or see inside of before.
One of the biggest bits of that is probably, and it probably is now beneficial now that it's grown, and I'm sure you'll get to that, but that putting yourself out there in the networks. Oh, and I think you mentioned even on the walk, like before we went on camera, and you said about it's almost very hard now for you to, if you go to a cafe in London, or many cafes in London, not to someone to be familiar. Which has its perks and
it definitely does,
and its cons. Of course, sometimes you just want to have some time to yourself.
That was it. Yeah.
But it must feel really like connected in that industry.
Yes. Now. Yeah. Which is great, but it does have its drawbacks. I mean, up until this point, I'd kept my name and my face away from it. Because I find in coffee, people who have their kind of celebrity status, you could say, sometimes I see them rely on that a little bit too much in creating the product that they're trying to sell, or the service they're trying to sell. It's like, just because you were good 5 years ago,
it's true,
doesn't mean anything now. Yeah. I was like, I want a service that is standalone good.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't want people to follow it or use it or put money into it because it's me. Yeah. If it's good, it's good. If it's bad, it's bad.
I guess you mentioned about that legacy thing at the start. Yeah. We're coming full circle that potentially, and not that this is what you're planning to do, but potentially it gets to a place where you can leave that behind and it continues to add value. I mean, I hope that, I'd have no plans to sell it if anyone wants to buy it. I'm not in coffee to make a profit. I don't think many people are, because you're in the wrong industry. If you are, you're in the wrong industry.
Absolutely, But we got to the start of 24, and then a few people were like, "Well, you post events. Can you host events?" I was like, "Yes, yes." Which was one of the most valuable lessons I was taught at Saint from the founder. He said, "Say yes, work it out later."
Yeah.
Which, coming from someone with a massive fear of failure, is very hard to digest. Because what the situation was, there was a cafe that had a broken EK. Okay. EK43. And he said, "Oh, Andrew, do you know how to fix an EK?" And I was thinking, gulp, yes. He was like, "Great, can you go over to that site and fix it?" And I was like, "Okay." Looking on maps, going, I have 30 minutes to sit on a bus and watch YouTube videos and work out. I got there. It took me about 3 hours. I was sweating all over the place, but I fixed it. I was like, "Oh, now I can fix an EK." Yes, it took 3 hours. Should have been an hour.
That's really interesting. Is the answer to the question, "Do you know how to fix one?"
Yeah.
If you'd have changed your answer to that when you answered it, like, you might still not know how to fix one if you'd have said no.
Exactly.
So it's about that mind shift change as well, isn't it? Of people, if someone asks you, "Can you do this?"
Yeah.
It's like, well, you know, I've never tried, but
sure.
What's to say I can't?
I mean, it can definitely get you in trouble.
I guess there's limitations to that. Sure. Say yes and then.
Yeah. But the more times you say yes and fail, the more times you'll then say yes and do it.
Okay.
Because you'll realise the kind of levels that you can go in between. You don't worry about not doing it. Yeah. Like the first time I said yes to a cafe to go and fit a new water filter. I was like, "Yep, cool. This size pipe, this size gasket, this filter," and it just goes in. No. I needed different size pipes because they had different size pipes. I needed to fit a whole motor and a pump system to the thing. And I was like, "Oh no, here we go. Yeah. Like, these people are paying me to do this. I don't know how to do it." But you just work it out.
Yeah, I like that.
Like, if you put yourself in the position of, "Oh no," you'll learn. Yeah. If you always do the things you know how to do, you don't learn, right?
Yeah.
Like there's baristas or people in coffee out there who say, oh, I've been in coffee for 10 years. Great, but you've only done 2 roles in there. So really, you've got 2 years of experience across 10 years.
Yeah.
Rather than 10 years of experience.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. No,
Which is like great.
And again, as you say, it's about that, time. And I think there are, in general, I think in life and the way things are now, it's what you've done, not how long you've been somewhere, that is much more important. And it probably has always been the case, but I remember thinking, oh, that person, say this person's worked in that company for 20 years. They must be, the go-to person. They must be the person who has the most knowledge of the industry. And actually, no, it's quite likely. This isn't the case for everyone, of course.
Yeah.
But it's likely that maybe, like as you said, with that 2 years experience over 10 years, they've become very good and comfortable in one role, but they don't necessarily want to stretch themselves or push themselves. And so just because they've been there for a long time, but they're probably still doing things the way they did them at the start.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And then that's why maybe other people come through, and it might be that they've been passed up on promotions or passed up on things. And longevity isn't always the biggest sign of success, which I think is very different to maybe a generation or couple of generations ago when it was like, get a stable job, get a stable income, and just make sure you have that.
Yeah. But I think it's different for everyone. Like I'm in a very fortunate position where if I weren't to earn anything for a week of work, I'd be okay.
Yeah.
Or if a few years ago, if I were to have stayed or done something at like a lower pay grade, I'd be okay. But some people have that ambition to drive. Like I could have very well. We said it in Loughborough. I worked out that if we would have stayed in our jobs there, I think it was like 7 or 8 years. If nothing happened, savings were rolling in, we would have bought a house.
Yeah.
Great. Do I want to live in Loughborough for 30 years? No. So we moved to London. We're renting, but we're doing so much more, and we're probably happier doing so many different things.
Yeah, and that's it.
And that's just how you are as a person.
That shift away from, and I'm not the best at it sometimes. I'm learning to be better at that. It comes back to that in the moment thing. Like, yes, you can save for 10 years, and unfortunately, not to be morbid, you don't know what situation you're going to be, or you don't want to save and then finally get something, like maybe get the house or get something, and then by the time you get there, you then can't enjoy it fully, or you've missed out on so many years of actually just going out there and doing different things, and so
I think it's just so personable. Like if someone said to me, I finished uni, I went and got a really good job, and I'm already 10 years down into a mortgage. They've got like 4 kids. Yeah,
for some people that is what they want.
Fantastic. As long as you're happy, I'm happy for you. It's not something that I would I don't know, because I've never been in that position. I don't know what it's like.
Yeah, and I think sometimes there is that people shift.
Let's just go. Let's do it.
It's like I've got friends even now that I think are a bit more like, they're talking about going travelling and experiencing different cities and things like that. And there's whereas for me, I'm like, oh no,
I don't want to do that.
I couldn't do that, like the backpacking or this, that, and the other. Not for me at all. But whereas now, so I was kind of saying to you again, at that stage in life where very much feel beginning to settle and just that become a proper grown up, which I mean in the last 2 years, so turned 30, got married, and now we're having a baby on the way. So that is like
Incredible.
For some people that's not goals that they want. But for us, I think for myself and my wife, we both were aligned on that, and so it's really exciting that's the next chapter. So it's exciting, and that's going to totally change perspective on things, I'm sure. And I think it's one of those, no matter how much you prepare until the day that baby's arrived, you don't know how you're going to react and how it's going to change things.
No, there's no manual for that. There's no introduction video that takes 2 hours to go through.
But I think I'm gonna have to take your advice on that, and my wife will be pleased if she asks me if I can do something. Say yes and work it out later.
Say yes, work it out. Yeah.
I'm gonna take that one. Yeah.
I mean, there's people with specialties out there who are waiting for you to ask.
Yeah.
I see it with events now. Like I go to people who do events, and they're fine, but especially if they're paid for, I kind of want an experience. I've been to some, you pay £10 to go, and there's just coffee on the table. They don't really tell you what it is, why it's special, no background information. It's like, great.
Yeah.
If you would have come to me, I could have made this a spectacle. Yes,
Yes.
it would have cost you, but the people who went and got value would have been a lot better.
Yeah. So you'd mentioned about posting events to hosting events. So
Posting to hosting.
yeah, posting to hosting. So in terms of a day in, I guess many days are very different, and that's probably part of what is the appeal of it, is
Yes.
that you never, it's not going to be boring, but
Yeah.
what would like a general day or week look like with Cupping Directive, if that makes sense?
Yeah, a lot of admin.
Okay.
A lot of computer work, which I'm not used to. But I think over the last few years, so from kind of 24 where we started hosting, to then going part-time in April 24, and that year was all about creating the network, creating the infrastructure, trying things, seeing what works, seeing what horribly didn't work.
Yeah, yeah. Because it's a big call to say, I'm gonna leave
It's like cut
secure,
my salary in half, please.
Yeah, cut my salary in half. I'm gonna go do this.
Yeah. To then a year later be comfortable to go, I appreciate it. I'm off. I'm gonna do my own thing. But yeah, it changes all the time. So I've gone through phases over the last kind of, I guess, year and a half of being part-time and full-time, of wanting to be super structured and then super, let's see what happens, right? And that comes in waves. And I've kind of now settled on a weekly structure where Monday and Friday are mine, unless it's super well paid. I'm not going to say
of
no.
course. Yeah. But that's important as well, to have that
yes.
boundary of,
there's like a threshold.
I guess, taking on, wanting to grow. And I think you do see it happen with a lot of businesses, not just in coffee. Is when people are at that stage of really, there's a stage where you kind of have to say yes to everything, I think, and you're just finding your feet and you're just getting out there and getting it. And it's
say yes, work it out later.
Yeah, exactly. Maturing to that stage where you don't want to diminish the quality by taking on too much. And then also just burn yourself out as well.
Absolutely. So easily done.
Yeah, I can imagine, Because it's easy to say yes in a time when you're feeling positive, optimistic, end of an event, and then it's that having the discipline, I guess, to do it when you're not motivated. And why did I say yes to that?
Yeah, discipline is the best word. Yeah. So Monday is admin. I worked that out through trial and error. So when I was part-time, I think I did Monday and Wednesday. And I found that Tuesday, which was then my day, it was really hard to get that momentum going for the week because I'd already missed the start point. So it was like Monday morning is mine.
Okay.
Set up for the week, because I am Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays. Then when I book in, or I'm available to book in for like daytime stuff, whether it's baristering, freelance roasting, traveling, events, whatever it needs to be. Evenings are always available. I try and limit myself to kind of 2 evenings a week.
It's hard though, especially I imagine in London when so much is happening.
Exactly.
That there is always something you could go to or go to.
And then Friday is mine again.
Nice.
Close out the week. Plan for Monday. That planning element is awful to wake up on a Monday and go, right, what do I need to do?
Yeah, 100%.
Whereas I can wake up and go, right, I already know what's.
I think that's good advice for anyone in any job.
Plan ahead.
Like for me, that last thing I do on a Friday before I finish for the week is almost write my to-do list for Monday.
Yep.
and like so at least
absolutely.
When I open up my laptop or my notepad on Monday, and also being aware what time my first commitment is on the Monday morning, because sometimes I don't want to be on a Sunday and be like, what time do I need to be in for? Because I'm at that, there's a bit of flex with my hours, so I tend to start a bit later. I tend to start about 10 and finish at 6.
Right.
But every now and again there might be something in before 10.
Yeah.
And so I make sure on Friday, I'm like, okay, do I know what time I need to start or how much meetings I have on Monday?
Yeah.
Yeah, massive, because it helps take away from that Sunday scaries they talk about as well, because I know exactly what my day's going to look like on Monday.
Yes, and you can always kind of look forward to it.
Yeah, exactly.
As well, which is good. So Monday, Friday, I kind of landed from that. I want everything to be super structured to I'll do it when I do it, to 2 days of mine. Yeah. And unless you're above the threshold, and then fine.
Yeah. Exactly.
I won't say no. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, a little bit of everything at the minute. Currently, I guess kind of passing the time until I start roasting in January.
Yeah, which is another exciting chapter.
Yeah. So I've waited 3 months for my coffee bags to arrive. They come next week.
Yeah.
Providing they get through customs, they should. It's just plastic. And then so it's just whatever he's doing, whether it's a cafe needs help, a roastery needs help, or some crazy business. Kind of calls up and says, "Hey, we're interested in your services." I'm like, "Oh my god, I'm actually talking to you. This is crazy. Like, you've noticed me."
Yeah, that's
which isn't the point, but to kind of to
it's nice
work
though.
with some people that I never thought
You would get the chance to work with.
Yeah, like this year, there's been some people who turned me down for a job when I first moved to London, who I'm now invoicing. It's
Yeah,
so
which
cool.
is a little personal. Like,
it's
it's
like,
nice.
Send that off.
Yeah, and it's nice to. I think I had that a little bit, even with the blended coffee I've got with Jericho Coffee Traders, which they're great people, and really cool company, and they do quite a lot of charity blends as well, which is nice. They help the community. People in the Oxford area will know them very well.
I think that they're at the festival.
Yes, they would have been. They would have been at Oxford Coffee Festival. I was actually in Portugal, so I missed Oxford Coffee Festival. But I can't complain too much. That really is a can't complain. But definitely one for me to keep an eye out for next year and moving forward.
I'll be there. See you there.
Yes, that'd be good. That'd be really good. And keep it in the diary. But that I got to the stage then I said about how I initially was just going to cafes, reviewing them, and I got to the stage I thought, you know what, I've supporting Restore is a mental health charity that are local, and I was like, how can I give something back? And I said, well, coffee's done a lot for me in terms of giving me that space and purpose. So I was like, I want to try give back using coffee to the mental health charity, and then wrote to a few of them. There were a few that I had conversations with, ones that just wasn't quite the time for it, but it was really nice that quite a few of the local ones knew who I was. And I was like, you might not know who I am. And they're like, oh no, we've seen what you're doing. You've seen it. And that was really nice that I was like, okay, wow. So it has been making it, like it is making a difference and it's out there. Incredible. And so, went in, did all with their head roaster there, Stretch is what he's known as, did all their cupping. So we did the flavour profile, and it's now kind of in-house for them. It's on their website and they produce it as one of their coffees. But for myself as well, to experience how it works, how you create a blend, was really cool. And we spoke at it right at the start about just opening up to the full journey of how a cup of coffee gets made. And that's been going for nearly 3 years or so now. Wow. And just 10% of the proceeds from a sale of it, if it's on the bar in the shop. But often if people buy it online as well, 10% of the bag of coffee goes to the charity. So it's kind of just consistently like giving back, which is really nice. Podcast, which again I guess is that say yes, work it out later. When I said, but that was more to myself. To myself, it was like, do I want to do this? Do I not? Like, who actually would want to listen to me? And like now, here we are. Series 4, still having conversations.
Incredible.
But it's nice. So Oxford Coffee Festival. We'll touch on it briefly. I feel like we could chat for ages, but I feel like we're starting to come to it. And then I also want to talk about Manchester, because I think
let's talk about Manchester.
That's this weekend. Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, whenever this comes out, I don't know.
Oh yeah, so it won't be this weekend. Well, this weekend for us now, talking about it, but it will have happened.
It was great.
Manchester was great. So we'll start with Oxford. How did you find it? Because I think it was the first Oxford Coffee Festival.
It was the first one. Yes, I'm dressed for Oxford Coffee Festival. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
I think there was a really big question mark over it, just because we didn't know. No one knew. But turned up. Lovely space. I think it was like a sports hall. Okay. It was only kind of 10-15 minutes away from Oxford Station. So a really cool location.
Yeah.
They had a good amount of stands in there, all local businesses. There was no kind of big brands in there, which really made it a community feel.
Yeah.
And I think just by how the people there, you could tell that it wasn't a trade show.
Yeah.
It was a community get together. Nice. Which was really, really cool. They had some great coffees from Oxford surrounding area into the north. Not many kind of London brands, which is always good to see. Cakes, pastries, alcohol, coffee roasters. The panel that we did with the best coffee shops, which was fun. Always love a good panel. I'm excited to see where they go, because for those who kind of showcase there, obviously they don't know either. You usually kind of when you go, you're like, okay, well, how much is it? How many people do you get through the door? No idea. And I think it was in that kind of bubble as well, where you had Nottingham, I think the weekend before, host Milan was on as well, so it's a very busy time. but still, it was a really good turnout.
Nice, yeah. No, I was gutted to miss it. I had a few people message me actually,
Yeah.
which was nice, saying, "Oh, well, we'll see you there."
No.
And I was like, "Oh no,
I'll be there in spirit.
Yeah, I'll be there in spirit, and next year, and yeah, I'll have to, make sure I'm there, and
Definitely.
get along to panels if we can. I mean, I'm don't want to commit to anything too much now. I don't know, but it would be really cool if I was able to talk about like mental health and coffee or something like that.
Yeah.
Jericho, I know links. So
No, I think it's a topic that
I'll see if I can make that happen.
never go out of fashion. Really.
Yeah, see if I can make that happen.
Yeah.
We'll see. I'll have to pull some strings.
Oh, easily done.
And see what happens. Yeah. I'll just say I know Andrew, and they'll be like, yeah, sure.
in London, that might get you somewhere.
In Oxford, it might be the other way around. You might have to say.
Yeah. I mean, as it stands, I'm joint top for the most speaking done at the coffee festival. For Oxford.
Oh, there we go.
At two, because there was 2 panels and I did both of them.
100%. Every single panel that has happened at
Oxford. Yeah, I'll put that in my bio on Instagram.
Yeah, put that. But and then Manchester. This weekend. Is that one you've been to before?
No, never been to Manchester.
I'm the same. I've never been to the coffee festival. I've been to the city a couple of times, but never the coffee festival. So that'd be really cool as well.
I'm excited. Yeah, I mean, it's the second year now that Husky have been doing it. So they do. I think definitely Brighton. I think they do Dublin as well. I'm not too sure. So yeah, they took over from Cup North last year. And I think they did a pretty. I didn't go, but I heard they did a pretty good job because they only had a very short amount of time to get it ready because people had already bought stands, had already bought tickets, and then it wasn't going to happen, and then it was going to happen because they bought it.
Wow.
So coming back this year, and they've had the whole planning to themselves so that they can do. So going up tomorrow for the industry day, so that's 4 till 7, and then both Saturday, Sunday. I'm going to be on the MoMA stand.
Awesome.
Making OT boys and girls for the weekend, which will be fun. But yeah, very excited. Never been. So yeah.
Yeah, it's always nice to explore. And that's, again, as we say about coffee and
it is.
That industry, it is really that community feel, I think.
Yeah.
I'd be interested, briefly, we'll touch on your thoughts on London Coffee Festival, because I know that divides opinion, I think, from when I speak to people. I mean, it's a great event, and I've been now 4 or 5 years in a row.
Yeah, I think I'm the same.
I initially just went on a weekend and never again. It was so busy. But this was before I really felt I could go to industry day, trade day. But it's interesting because, but then I've got to know people, and I think one year I ended up doing the School of Coffee. We were working on Sage machines, and that was really cool.
Yeah, super.
With Heidi.
I love Heidi.
It was
Hi Heidi. Oh, she's great. Yeah.
So that was brilliant, and I really enjoy it. And it is a lot. I can see it's overwhelming. It's almost you don't know how many, but I know it feels very much like a trade day. It feels very corporate to me.
Yes, I think it's got more corporate as it goes.
But still a cool event, and for me, it's just a great chance to catch up with loads of people.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think coming from that industry standpoint, the biggest thing is seeing people. Yeah. Catching up, kind of you walk around with whoever you bump into. One of those things like you'll stop at a stand, grab a coffee, say hello to the person there that you know, and then someone will come to you, and then you might move to the next one, and then 2 people will come, and then eventually you work your way around. But it's very overwhelming. Yeah,
it can be. Especially with all the caffeine. You're caffeinated, it's often boiling hot in there.
Yeah, super loud. Not too many places to sit down as well.
Yeah.
But I think you just have to embrace it.
Yeah, you have to. You know what you're going into.
Yes.
I think the first one, it was a bit like, oh my gosh, what is this?
Yes.
Yeah. And I was quite new to coffee. I didn't really know many people then. Also, was just very naive. Had about 3 flat whites by about 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
And I was getting like flat. At every stand, what can I have? Well, I like a flat white.
Yeah. Yeah.
By about 2 o'clock, I was
kind of done.
And then it was it was a lot, but no, it's cool, and I love the events, the festivals. I've not been able to get to as many this year. Life's been busy,
of course,
with the new job, which is a bit of a step up in terms of commitment for myself, in terms of time, and then now we've got a little one on the way. So
little one, yeah.
But yeah, it's been great. It's been great having a chat.
There you go, yeah.
There is a question I ask everyone.
Okay.
So before we wrap up, actually before we get to that, is there anything you want to ask myself? You can say no.
What is it that keeps you going in coffee?
That's a great question. I think what keeps me going is the people, and for me it really is an escape. And this is interesting because this might not be relatable to people who work in coffee full time, but for me, coffee is still that hobby. It's something where I love seeing people work in an area they're passionate about. So I had similar with, well, what I do now in the startup, like, the founders, they really believe in what they're doing and they enjoy it.
Yeah.
And I think I love when I catch up with people or speak to them about coffee, or you go to these festivals and people really want to tell you about the process. They want to tell you about what they're doing, and they care about
kind of
what's
like
in that
perk
cup.
up when you're asked.
Yeah, so that's
good.
amazing. So I think that's what keeps me going in coffee. And again, it really was a space that gave me purpose, connection, a feeling of like belonging at a time when I was in quite a dark place.
Yeah.
And I will always be grateful for that I found a space that was quite accepting and very accepting to me. I think there is this conception was sometimes that it can be quite snobbery, and I don't know. I'm not in the inner circles, so I don't. Yeah, I'm not in the inner circles, but to me, like the community and the cafes and people that took me, and that's what like a coffee shop is all about. I think people want a space they feel welcome. They can have a great cup of coffee, but it's a space they enjoy being in, and I guess that's what's led to. It's nice for me then, even have this podcast. It's conversations over coffee, and it's something that helps me keep grateful and for it. So that's what keeps me going there.
Can we just say very cool coffee as well today?
Yeah, I know, a bit different.
Clarkson himself, the Diddley Squat coffee.
Yeah, picked it up from the
which
farm
definitely
shop.
Isn't grown in Oxfordshire.
No, it's not. But as it says on the bag, really, the best coffee in the world.
In the world, yeah.
But it's different, isn't it? It's something different.
It's great. It's great. I love a story with a coffee.
Yeah, and that's there you go. You came out to the country to Oxfordshire and had Diddley Squat coffee.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, I've completed it.
Yeah,
completed it.
But yeah. So, last question before we wrap up: what does happiness mean to you?
So really, I think you've touched on it with your answer to my question.
Okay.
It's the sense of belonging. In any form, I think it could be quite wide. But what it's not in terms of the belonging is being needed.
Okay.
I hate being needed.
Yes.
And although that's kind of what I do for a job, is someone needs my service.
Okay.
But they don't necessarily need it. I'm there to be helpful. But if I see events and people can do it themselves, fantastic. That also makes me happy because it's the sense of belonging inside of this wider community. But belonging in any form. So belonging at home, feeling comfortable, being happy, kind of having a space where you can be yourself.
Yeah.
But then it can also be quite weird. So like when I'm queuing to get out of a tube station, there's a sense of like belonging to this group of people who are all in the same boat together. We've all got that shared goal of leaving as quick as we can and going home. Yeah. Belonging in coffee as like a safe space. Like you said a few times, purpose. Yeah. So I think coffee is colour like potatoes. It's a vehicle for whatever you want it to be. I want to be helpful. Coffee allows me to be helpful.
Yes.
People want to make someone else's day better. Coffee might not actually be what makes their day better, but it allows you to fulfill that purpose. Yeah. If you want to be a millionaire, maybe not coffee, but coffee can be that vehicle for that.
No, it's so true, and I think it's similar with myself. I guess I say sometimes that I like to act on my purpose through my passions, and my purpose is raising awareness of mental health and conversations and reducing that stigma, and my passions are coffee, which then is the vehicle, and football as well. And
there you go.
So
and I go through fairness, respect, and honesty. And if I do something that isn't all three, I don't do it. If someone wants me to do something that isn't all three, I don't do it. But yeah, being happy is just finding somewhere where you belong. And what that could be absolutely anywhere. It could be a football club, could be in a cafe as a family, could be at home, but somewhere that you're not necessarily needed but wanted, I guess.
Yeah. I love that. And you're seen and you're valued.
Yeah.
And again, using all
I think
these
that's
words.
what happiness is. Because it doesn't really matter. Like you might have a really stressful week coming up. You might be low on money, you might have made a mistake, but if you're somewhere where you belong, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It really doesn't matter, because you're just there,
Yeah.
and someone wants you to be there.
Yeah. Love it.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm going to
There you
be able
go.
to top that, so we'll finish there.
Yeah.
But again, thanks so much. Really nice to meet you in person as
You
well.
as well. You as
And
well.
yeah, I'll have to get myself along to one of the events.
Yeah, or
soon.
let's do one in Oxford.
Yes.
Or Didcot.
Let's do it. Well, Oxford maybe, yeah.
Oxford it is.
Yeah, no, that'd be awesome. And
Yeah.
we'll have to look at getting something sorted.
I think so, yeah.
Amazing.
All right.
Thanks, Andrew.
No worries.
Thank you so much for tuning in to this latest episode of Flat Whites and Insights, and I really hope you gained something from that conversation, because I know I certainly did. It would mean a lot if you can head over to Instagram and give Cappuccino a follow. This is where you can keep up with the content that I'm putting out, and where I'm hoping to raise awareness of mental health through my passions for football, coffee, and people. In addition to this, if you want to reach out and connect, or come on the podcast yourself and have a conversation, please do get in touch, because I'm always keen to speak to new people and hear about new experiences. Thank you so much. Take care, and hopefully we'll see you again soon.